was bad?
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, if you're subscribed to this channel, thank you. We're almost at 1 million because of you. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed, take 1 second, click the subscribe button. We need you. We love you. Right, Rob? All right, guys, our guest today on Hotcakes and Hot Takes, this guy knows absolutely nothing about controversy. He knows nothing about the limelight. He loves authorities, especially the Romanian justice system. And the most important fact, he's a virgin and he's saving himself for marriage. Tristan Tate, everybody. Tristan,
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much. Like, it's so hard to be celibate.
Well, that was the nicest introduction anyone's ever given me.
Really?
I'm not sure about the accuracy, but in terms of like kind words, I mean, I appreciate it.
Kind,
if people at home haven't seen me before and you want to believe that, feel free.
Yeah, so
I'll own it.
I know. I'm curious. Initially, they were probably like, "Who the hell, virgin?" Bull. And then it's you,
Tristan Tate.
But I appreciate you being here, Tristan. If you guys mind, because the food you're not going to eat because you don't eat till what time?
About 6, 7 p.m.
Every single day.
Every single day.
So is it just black coffee?
Black coffee and water until 6 or 7 p.m. Yeah.
Okay, question. Working out, are you like? Because I can imagine I get lightheaded at 1 o'clock. My body starts to be like, okay, like put a banana or a protein, something.
Now, I've trained already today. I typically train the first thing when I wake up, so I don't have to like worry about it for the rest of the day. Once it's done, then I can shower, suit up, get changed, and I'm ready to attack the day. So I've trained already this morning.
Do you only have one meal a day, or you'll eat?
Usually it depends. You know, I'm not a stickler about it. If I have lunch and then my friends say, "Oh, let's go to like last night, let's go to Carbone," I'm like, "Okay, well, let's go out and I'll eat some more food there." I don't know, I'm a big guy. I can burn it off, but it's not like a religious like ritual where I only eat once a day. But I try not to get fat. I try my best. Sometimes I fail, depending on how much I drink.
Alcohol is the key.
Yeah. I try to stay in shape.
Like, when's it like Tristan, late night, 2 in the morning, you're getting home. You stay disciplined, or you're like, okay, I'll have a damn burger.
No,
I have to.
No, I never eat and drink at the same time. It doesn't matter how much if I start drinking at 9 p.m. and finish at 3 a.m., I will not eat a single morsel of food during that time. I feel like for me, and I know everyone's different, it kind of like accelerates hangovers. It makes you feel much worse if you eat, a pizza in your stomach and you wake up feeling all fat and bloated. If it's just the tequila and the ice and you drink some water before you go to bed, wake up with a coffee, I'm telling you,
okay,
I'm in full agreement.
Never eat and drink at the same time. Yeah.
Oh, Monique, how you doing?
Thank you so much.
You just want a coffee?
Yeah, just black coffee. Yeah.
That's all it's gonna be. All right, and
more coffee in the cast. Thank you.
do you mind? We're just gonna pray really quick.
Oh, yeah.
Dear Lord, thank you for the food we're about to eat and the hands that make it. I pray, Lord, for Tristan. Have a hand over him, Lord. Give him safety, his family, his fortune, and his future. Help this conversation be very good, Lord. And for all the people behind the scenes and the people watching at home, God bless them all. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, so Tristan, I have a bunch of questions because I have so many. I don't even know where to start.
Look at that. Anything you like.
Okay, so if my research is on point, Tristan, your dad was in the Air Force.
Yeah.
So was I.
Yes.
Are you ready for that? I don't even think you know this. He was a linguist, spoke Russian, Spanish, worked in intelligence, I want to say CIA, and he was an international master in chess. Who was he? Who was this guy? Because I read it yesterday and I was like, wait a minute, I never even knew CIA linguists. I know people that are linguists that work for the government, but like, who was this guy, bro?
So the CIA rumors actually come from Twitter. They come from Twitter because I knew my father worked in the intelligence services. I have tried to pull his record. I can't get his military record. I don't know exactly what he did, but I knew that he spoke Russian. Me and Andrew have made a bunch of guesses, but whoever he was a patriot and a true professional to the point where up until the point he died, I didn't really know what he did in the United States military. I never knew. But yeah, I think he still holds the record for the United States Armed Forces chess championships 5 years in a row. I don't think anyone's beaten that to this day. He set that back in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Yeah, he was just a very, very interesting guy. It's one of those things where you grow up and your dad's your dad, Doesn't matter what he does or how interesting his job is or how unique he is as a person. He's just dad, and you don't think too much of it. It wasn't until I was in my, early teenage years when I started understanding, quite how different of a character he was and how his mind worked. So, yeah.
Did he ever, Did you ever hear like weird conversations like on the phone or something, and then, or you're like, dude, Dad's gone for where the hell? Like, where'd he go? Any inclination of anything? I know you said like as you got older, it got to there, but did it ever like? Did you ever see anything or witness anything where you're like, dude, Dad might be a freaking spook?
Dry fires.
For full disclosure, he lost his career in the military when I was a very young kid. I must have been about 3 years old. So after that, all of my brothers and my stories about how he struggled with poverty, homelessness, and stuff, that all came later on.
Okay.
So my father's military career, I remember him on the phone endlessly trying to get his job back, trying to get his security clearance back. I remember that was a big one on the phone, trying to fight for his security clearance back, and he was playing professional chess. And I guess he thought that, chasing this rabbit in this direction was eventually one day going to pay off. But it didn't. I mean, like when he died, he had $12 in his pocket. That's like 10, 11 years ago. His health was certainly affected by the fact that, and I'll say it right here, VA healthcare in the United States is not at the standard
It's a huge problem, yeah.
It's not at the standard it should be. If VA hospitals were funded properly, with all the problems he had, I feel like he may still be around today. That's why when I do bits, I don't know if you follow me on Twitter, I do bits to help out veterans all the time.
Of course I do. Of course, that's what.
To help out VA's hospitals, because I think for me, certainly it's an issue that hits close to home.
But I appreciate, I was going to say, because I had that in there, I appreciate you because I see you and I see you out there because it hits so far, so close to home. Bro, I can't tell you how hard it is because I'm a veteran, Air Force, how long it takes for me. These guys hear me complain all the time about, I need an appointment. Then they call me while I'm on the podcast. I call and they're like, here's the number with the extension, doesn't pick up for 1 week. And then I email them, I'm like, yo, I need help. I got to have a stress. I'm worried about physical stuff. It's the worst.
Yeah,
we send these soldiers to go do whatever, then they come home and we're like, bro, you know what? Ukraine's gonna get $200 billion. You guys just shut the hell up. It's sad.
Well, even the people that make the decisions on that healthcare, you think that Congress and Senate don't have the best healthcare, the best access to doctors, yet they're the ones that make the decisions to send these kids into war and then abandon them long term.
Infantry especially doesn't get taken care of. Like the people who are actually experiencing the worst of the war. I had a buddy, it took him 15 years to get qualified for 100% disability.
Yeah.
It took 15 years.
It's very sad, and that's one of the issues that I care about a lot. I mean, I guess I got into trouble, certainly in Europe, talking about how governments in the West misappropriate funds. I was a huge anti-funding the war in Ukraine guy since the very beginning, since the military operation kicked off in 2022. I was a huge don't fund this war. I'm looking at my own countries. I mean, I'm part English, part American. And they all have their problems, and they all need money for various issues at home. England, especially, which is right now essentially a failed state, and they're just sending tens and hundreds of millions of dollars over. It really broke my heart. So we're on the same page there.
It's absolutely sad, and look, it's happening again right now with Iran. It's like, bro, we have problems here. Shut everything off from everybody for at least a year. Figure our stuff out before you help anybody out. I think Patrick said it a while ago about the border, which I mean, it's obviously shut down now.
Yeah.
For a year, which it's right now, it's completely shut down, which is perfect. Stop, turn around and look at everybody inside the country. Stop worrying about bringing everybody in. And I think the same applies with that. So Tristan, I know that you and Andrew are pranksters, and I want to get into a story later on about the jail in Romania.
Go on.
Me and my siblings were horrible. Every April 1st, we would run into my mom and dad's bedroom at 6 a.m. while they're passed out, and we'd go, fire! They'd run, they'd figure out what was going on, and then they'd beat the hell out of us every single year.
Worth it.
That was, yeah, exactly. So you two growing up, how were you guys? Were you guys crazy? Were you guys doing pranksters? Were you guys getting in trouble? What was your guys' childhood like?
Honestly, I know recent events have given me this kind of unfortunately, this bad boy kind of gangster image. What did I do? When I was young, I dedicated myself to kickboxing. I played the violin and the piano. I was good in school. I was genuinely that wasn't my life. I have a lot of friends who are still in my life now, I've known for decades, who from my hometown were into all of that bad shit. Into dealing drugs, breaking into houses, this kind of thing. And I just wasn't. I was just a guy, trying to find a way to make some money. But in terms of my sense of humor and my pranks, we really to this day, we look around at each other sitting in rooms being like, Andrew, we're almost 40-year-old men. When are we going to grow up? Never, ever. But
what do you guys do? Anything fun, just pranks, getting in trouble, stuff, not like law, crazy stuff, but what's some of the stuff that you did that you guys laugh about today? Or some of the stuff that you guys are even doing today?
Well, today, I think the things from today are funnier because we should have grown out of them both. So I actually said, you know what? I'm going to break my own rule. I said before this podcast, I'm not going to talk about my kids, but I'm going to talk about one of them. I'm going to talk about one of my kids. So I'm not going to say their name.
Okay.
But one of my best friends in the whole world, I've known him 21 years.
Okay.
Very good friend of mine, very close guy. I can trust him with my life.
All right.
So let's pretend his name is Adam for the sake of argument, because I'm not going to dox my kid.
Okay.
So I decided to name my kid Adam after this guy. So for the first 20 minutes, he's super happy. So, Tristan almost had a tear in his eyes. Like, that's so cool of you. Started hugging me and stuff. And then we sat around the dinner table, and I said, yeah, but you know what this means? He said, what? He says, hook me up to a lie detector test right now. I fucked Adam's mom. In fact, Adam's mom sends me naked pictures every day. In fact, I saw a picture yesterday of Adam in a diaper, and I just used the fact that my son's got the same name as him to rip on him. To the point I was at a party on Sunday, I was telling this story to everybody, and he was walking around introducing himself, goes, hi, my name's Adam. I'm like, oh, you're that Adam. Yeah, I heard Tristan knows your mom. So it's like, so I'm the kind of guy who will name my own son a certain name just to troll a guy I've known.
That's so freaking
and the jokes will never run out, because the cool thing is, let's say the relationship between me and Adam's mom breaks down, then I can be like, Adam's mom's suing me for child support. Adam's mom, it's like the jokes just line up. So I'm very immature in that way. I make very light out of very serious situations.
And I think that's one of the biggest keys in life. Everything is so serious all the time. You have to have fun. You have to break up the monotony. Everything, you just turn on the news right now. Nothing's positive. Today I was just looking at all of them. Fox, CNN, Twitter.
Yep.
There's not one feel-good story. Everything is negative. Sexual assault, Eric Swalwell, bombs, trans, everything. You have to have those moments.
Design.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah, you got to find ways to be happy in life.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have nothing.
Rob, you pranking people all the time?
Yes. No, I'm not.
Shows up in people's homes
You
just
can be
staring over.
good looking and prank people. When I prank people, they're like, what's wrong with that guy? Why is he being mean
What's
to
this
me right
creepy
now?
dude on the
Yeah,
street?
it's so creepy. That was a stretch, but
I'm
thank
sorry,
you.
I crossed the line, Rob.
That's a step further than...
So, and Tristan, you guys have a younger sister who nobody knows about.
No one knows about her. She's married. She has a different last name. She's a successful woman. She's
doing well.
She's got 2 kids. She's a lawyer. She lives in the United States. I could say that much.
Yeah.
And she's very happy. I stay in touch with her. I wish her all the best. But she likes to...
Of course, which I get it. She's not a limelight. But does she look like you guys? 'Cause if she does, I can imagine her at a supermarket, and people are like, I think that's...
Identical to Tristan.
6'4", just very attractive, just jacked. It's like, I'm not related.
No, she's
I'm not a date.
got a thicker beard and mustache. So,
She'll whoop anybody's butt that even tries to say anything.
she's she looks like a typical mixed race woman. She looks a lot blacker than I do.
Yeah.
So when I'm on my podcast making my black jokes, black people who don't know me are
flip
getting offended
out.
all the time.
Yeah.
I'm half black. My sister's more like a Beyonce kind of shade of
Got you.
for shade of brown.
So growing up, because you're the oldest.
No, Andrew's older.
Andrew's the oldest,
the oldest.
then it's you, and then it's her.
Yes.
So you two with her growing up, how many fights were you guys the protective guys? Did she even try to have? Because my sister, by the way, I took my sister to prom. It's disgusting. I took her. I didn't score. But my middle. No,
Thank you for
guys,
clarifying.
relax. No, because my dad was like, "You're not Middle Eastern. You're not going with anybody. Vinnie, come here. You're taking, bro. I had to get the corsage. It was so weird. But how was your? Bro,
What was her dad's accent when he said it? I have to hear it.
he said in the series, he's like, at Bishkalataya prom. I'm like, I don't want to take it. Bro, because you have to take the photos.
Yeah.
I'll show the photo. It's horrible. It's horrible. But how was your guys' relationship with her? Were you guys the protectors? Did you guys, was she strong enough to do it?
Well, kind of, but Andrew and I were always so independent. I mean, I moved out of my mother's house at 15 years of age.
Really?
When I started working. I started working in fast food. So I was renting a house with a bunch of Eastern European migrants who worked in my fast food restaurant. I was renting a room in a house. So I think after I turned 15, 16, me and my sister didn't stay in touch too much. She stayed at my mom's house for a much longer period of time. I was out there and, trying to make something of my life in my own way, failing a million times. So I had other things to concentrate on than getting into fights and beating up, her wannabe boyfriends. I got in plenty of fights, I guess, when I was young and stupid anyway. I didn't need any additional trouble.
At 15, so at 15, what makes you, because bro, I didn't join the military till I was 18, but it was
Yeah.
because I was, getting into a lot of trouble, stupid, hanging out with the wrong people. My dad was like, get the hell out of the house. We got into I'm talking about fist fights. I had my dad once, which I regret to this day. But at 15, Tristan, you don't hear a lot of people at 15 saying, I'm going to move out, I'm going to go. Where'd you get that from? Where was that?
Well, it wasn't that. In England, you finish high school typically at 16 years of age. But because I'm quite young for my year, I finished high school when I was 15. And I just needed a way to make money. I just needed to find a job somehow. So I found a job at it's called Pret. It's like a British sandwich chain. So I found a job there at the airports, and I just started making sandwiches and making money that way. Then some guy who lives with, some guy, he's still a very good friend of mine to this day. He's from Slovakia. He was like, oh, someone just moved out of the rented room in my house. It's like $180 a month.
Oh, really?
180 British pounds a month for this room, this kind of box of a room in this house that they all shared. Do you want to move in? I was like, you know what? Why not? Didn't like living with my mom anyway. I just started discovering girlfriends and women. I thought I need my own space.
Yeah.
So I was probably almost 16 when that happened. But yeah, I was very young when I decided to, try and make something of myself. I was just sick of being broke.
And at 15 you're doing that. What's Andrew doing at this point?
Andrew's working in a fish market.
Throwing the fish?
A fresh fish market.
Oh, really?
Cutting up the fish. Andrew's a fishmonger. We both kind of started. We were involved in martial arts to a very low degree. We were both training kickboxing.
When did you guys start training kickboxing? Why? I'm just curious. Why specifically kickboxing?
I'd love to say a more interesting story. A lot of questions that people give me, I'm like, I wish there was a better answer for this. In my shithole town that I'm from, there was a kickboxing gym, and that's what was there.
Oh, that's most people's story.
So that's where I went. There was no hey, I'm really thinking of taking up this. I can get a train or drive to these various places. There's no research. Where can I walk to that I can do something? So
if it was a ballerina, like a ballet place, you'd be like, yo, listen, I'm gonna do the.
Yeah, but basically. But I'll tell you, male ballet dancers, gay or not, are strong motherfuckers.
Oh yeah.
So let's not mock them too hard. Because if I walk outside of this diner after the studio and there's 6 guys in tutus ready to whip my ass, I'm like,
out.
He made the comment. It was him. Don't look at me, gentlemen.
I won't mess with ballerinas.
That's hilarious. It's a funny story. I'm in LA I'm in there doing the acting classes and everything, and I drove by a comedy club.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was a haha comedy club. And I was like, you know what? I love George Carlin. I was making people laugh all the time. I go, let me go in there. And I went on stage, Tristan, and I freaking bombed so hard. It was, you know what I'm talking about. It's the worst feeling, bro. I've been scared and threats and people, guns. I've been everywhere on the spectrum of fear. Nothing scared me more than going on stage and thinking everything that you planned was gonna go well, and they're all just people are talking. It's like you can't leave because you have to do the 5 minutes. It was such a fearful thing, but then it's whatever was around me. That's the thing that I was like, I'm not gonna just sit at the apartment and not do anything. It was stand up, and I was like, I'm gonna do stand up.
Well, you're designed for it.
I mean, I got knocked out in my first ever kickboxing fight. Same thing, You train so hard, you think, I'm a fucking killer. You get in there and someone knocks you out in the second round. You're like, well, that didn't go to plan. It's a horrible feeling. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So let me ask you a question. What's the one thing from birth until now that Andrew can simply not beat you at? No matter what it is, that one thing that you always know, that he always knows that you got a one-up on him.
You know what? I don't know. I feel like Andrew is the kind of guy that can do anything he puts his mind to. I don't think the question is what couldn't he do. It's what wouldn't he do. So Andrew putting his mind to something could achieve anything, and I truly believe that about him. However, I know what Andrew won't put his mind to, and I know what I enjoy. For example, I speak some foreign languages from living in Eastern Europe. Living with those Slovak guys, I still speak Slovak quite well. Andrew doesn't know a single word in any foreign language. And that's not to say he can't, or he won't. He's like, nope, fuck it, I know English. Don't even tell me how to say, I don't want to hear your hola, your gracias, nothing. I don't want to learn nothing.
Yeah.
Andrew doesn't know anything. So, you could say, people would be like, well, Tristan picks up foreign languages and Andrew doesn't. I think Andrew could. So it's not about what he, can't do. It's what he won't do. I know what he won't do.
Okay.
But to answer your question, ice water swimming. Andrew's got the black man jeans where he hates the cold. Anything cold, there's air conditioning on. He's got 6 sweaters on.
He's always cold.
No. So when my pool freezes over and I get in it, Andrew literally, it hurts him to watch me do that.
Yeah.
Let alone to actually get in himself. So ice water swimming is my official answer.
Got you.
I kick his ass any day.
Are you one of those guys are you a cold plunger in the morning?
No, not really. I don't own a cold plunge, but in Romania in the winter, my swimming pool freezes over. So I've got a sauna outside near the swimming pool.
Oh.
So I break a hole in the.
Jump in and
You go hot and cold?
Yeah.
Hot first and then cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, you told me this, and I tried it for like 2 days. I couldn't do it. This guy goes, "Oh, I just turned the cold shower on, and I just stand there." I don't.
In the morning, you do that?
Yeah, to get going.
I'm gonna say something stressful. I just read a study, and they said one of the primary things that leads to in a study. I don't want to say that this is fact. Leads to early like heart attack and stroke was first thing in the morning taking a very cold shower because it causes a very strong blood pressure spike.
Oh, wonderful. So now keel over. I'm more worried about dying from a heart attack in traffic than the cold water.
Tristan, how old were you? How old? Because I remember. I'm pretty sure you guys know. Everybody's watching. Everybody knows. How old were you? When were you? How old were you when you lost your virginity? And do you remember that moment?
Yeah, I remember. It was terrible. Okay, you know what? It was a couple days after my 16th birthday.
Okay.
A couple days after my 16th birthday. And yeah, terrible experience.
Horrible.
Yeah, horrible.
And was it as fast as the story? That was it.
No, the opposite problem. In full disclosure, I couldn't finish. For like the first 6 months I was trying to bang chicks, you know? So I had the opposite problem that a lot of dudes had. After like 10 minutes, they'd be like, 15 minutes, they're like, oh, maybe we should stop. Yeah, maybe we should stop. I had the opposite problem a bunch of dudes had. So yeah, it was
Were you
terrible.
just stress him out?
I have no idea what it was. Yeah, I have no idea what
It's in the past.
Oh yeah, it's in the past. But
That's so. What about you? Remember yours?
Oh yeah.
How old?
18.
18.
Yeah.
Quick.
No, it also took me.
Really?
There was a girl I was dating, and I was like, why is this not ending?
I'm gonna go on a limb. That's the.
And then I got stressed. That's why I asked. I started.
and you can't. And it's like trying to pee when dudes are next to you trying to talk in
it's
your
the
ears.
worst.
What the
And I was worried about her. I'm like, is it like weird for her? And does she think I'm not enjoying it? And,
Oh, by the way, hats off. This is the stud side. I'm gonna assume how fast.
I'm still waiting. Hopefully, if this podcast goes well, I'll get famous boats and O's.
Hey, girls, Rob.
Yeah.
Do you remember how old you were, Rob?
16. I was
Remember, all
watching
16? Wait, you were
Steve
18?
Harvey.
18.
I was watching because TBS. Do you remember that channel?
Of course.
They used to rerun the Steve Harvey show every afternoon. And the first time I ever had sex, Cedric the Entertainer and Steve Harvey were on TV. My mom was out, and it was in like 3 o'clock in the afternoon
Please
with my
don't
high
tell
school
me that's why
girlfriend.
you finished so.
I'm a huge fan of Kings of Comedy now.
Oh my God! You guys,
That mustache, right?
I forgot. I forgot. Okay, I remember I was 16, 17, whatever the age, but I remember the Yankees. I was in a house and I was away from everybody else, and the Yankees just won the World Series, and it was the last catch and everybody I hear screaming, and I ran away to go celebrate. But it was very fast for me. It was very, it was fast, and it was embarrassing. Thank you, my love.
Thank
Can
you.
I have another coffee, please? Thank you very much.
So Tristan, if you weren't the Tristan that you are today, if you had no status, no money, girls know who you are. Would your approach to women, what would your approach to girls be today? Because as you see, bro, guys today, they're not talking to women. Mm-hmm. It's freaking, besides the birth rate, everything's down, everything's on a decline. I'll get into some other stuff about our energy and stuff. How would you change your approach to everything? Or what advice would you give?
It is so hard out there in 2026. I remember being 18 in my hometown in Luton, just north of London, and pretty 18-year-old girls would get with me. I had something different. I had a motorbike, a cheap motorbike, and I was a kickboxer. Mm-hmm. That was enough, right?
Yeah.
Because these 18-year-old girls who are my age at the time weren't exposed to what women are exposed to today. Unfortunately, if we were to time machine myself and these women into 2026, these same hot 18-year-old girls from Luton would have 100,000 Instagram followers with a blue tick, millionaires from London, millionaires from Dubai, millionaires from Miami would be in their inbox, messaging them, trying to fly them out, trying to invite them over, and then suddenly the guy with the motorbike and an average kickboxing record isn't as tempting anymore. So I don't really know how to navigate the dating marketplace. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. How to give advice on how to navigate the dating marketplace today, because when I did it as a younger man, it was literally a different planet. Mm-hmm. Girls would pick up their phone and they'd see a text message from me, and that cost me 10 cents to send, and they were blown away.
Yeah.
Now a girl picks up her phone, she sees yachts, G-Wagon full of roses, private jet, goes in her DMs, there's football players, basketball players. It's all changed so much that unfortunately the only answer is, well, do your absolute best to stand out and become rich and successful and have status. I feel like people streamers like, and I'm glad he's okay because last night he had that medical problem, but I feel like streamers like Clavicular are doing God's work in a way by at least highlighting the massive flaws that we currently have in society. He's a guy, he's good looking, he's walking around, he's got his cameras, everyone knows he has status. He hasn't got that much money, not compared to all the businessmen I know and all the people I roll with. And he's got a little bit of money, and women are just falling at his feet. Day after day after day, night after night, for the fame and for the status.
And they know who he is. They know what he's about.
And they've got boyfriends. They know he's not going to commit. And then we have other people on the more righteous side of the internet telling young men, what you need to do is you need to find a girl, and you need to commit to her, and you need to get married. But these same girls they're telling these guys to commit to and get married are the same girls who, when they see Clavicular, go home to his hotel room live on stream. And it's a very, very difficult situation. I just got back from Uzbekistan, of all places. And, Americans typically have this high and mighty idea of their country being the best. And I'm an American, and I think America is the best in its own way. However, I walked around Samarkand, Uzbekistan, at all these ancient buildings and mosques. I'm a history nerd. I like to see all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I just saw, young married families, 20, 22, 23, men and women holding hands, pushing prams with their kids and stuff. And I thought, this is incredible. How much economic prosperity, how much military power, how many sports events, how many celebrities would you trade for that? Well, one civilization has a future and one doesn't, going at the direction the West is going in. And I'm not talking about America, I'm talking about the West in general. That includes Australia, almost all of Europe. And it's extremely upsetting. So I know you're asking me how I get laid, and I just got into the geopolitical about
cultural decay.
About how fucked the world is. But
it's totally fine because I see this is a freaking problem, bro.
It's a massive problem.
Guys don't even want to freaking. It's so hard to talk to girls because in their mind it's like, well, they want all this stuff and I don't have it. And it's like you should be able to fall in love or meet someone just off of at the supermarket, and you see them and you just go, hi, I think you're very beautiful. I want to talk to you.
But it's exactly what he said.
You should be able to do that.
Yes, but that's not. If women are exposed to an unrealistic expectation of what they deserve, they showed a study that 95% of women are being, 5% of men are getting 95% of women. That means that there's 95% of men who are just out there looking, and every girl's saying, you're not good enough. Even though they're a 6 and the guy's a 6 or whatever it is, the girl who's a 6 believes she deserves a 10 now because she goes on Instagram and she gets a ton of attention.
But you know where they meet? And it's community.
Yes.
That's where you meet your partner. But that's such a limiting ability. That the problem is the internet exposes you to everything. So you can meet women all over, but you're not going to, this is not a face you're going to swipe right on.
No.
There's a face that you're like, how do I call the police? He's looking in the window.
So, but if you talk to girl at church, it's a different stuff.
That literally is the difference.
answer.
It's meeting people in person. And I was on stage and I asked a couple, they were dating, and I said, how did you guys meet? Did you guys meet online? They said, no, in church. And the room stopped and applauded
Great.
them. And it shows that places like that where you're in a community, that's where you can meet a woman. That's where the actual relationships develop and breed.
You know, just the ultimate fact here is that, did you know people who go to church or a religious institution weekly live significantly longer than people who don't?
It's the community factor of it.
Yes.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what the religion is. If they go to a religious meeting one time per week, it's something nuts, 9 years.
Yeah, it's
huge.
one of the biggest indicators of living longer.
And that's why I tell. But think about it. This damn thing. You're home. You don't have, bro.
You're
you could
isolated.
gamble. You could order food. You could launch websites. You could do everything with this thing. And once that's there, bro, look at girls porn. You're staying home. I saw videos. I forgot which montage it was. I think we might have played it on the podcast. Girls were like, nobody's talking to us. She's like, I'm walking around. Where are the dudes? They're home freaking on OnlyFans and they're hooking up with, you know what I mean?
And I give advice to young men all the time, and the advice I give, people don't think it's palatable, and it's not palatable to say things like, to say things like you shouldn't be watching porn at all. You shouldn't be doing it at all. If there's cheap, horrible processed food at home all the time, you're not going to go out and hunt for some prime venison. You know what I mean? You want to be actually meeting girls in real life. You want to be. And I'm a big advocate for this, and shoot me because a lot of institutions don't like me saying this. I'm a big fan of having kids early. I feel like if a woman, let's say a woman's destiny is to, because every porn star, every OnlyFans girl, every single hoe in Miami was once just a virgin who met her first boyfriend, right? if they had got pregnant and she had got pregnant with a child and had that child, I feel like in a lot of cases that would have halted the destructive path that she set herself on. You know what I mean? So I mean, shoot me. I'm a abortion should be illegal guy. I always have been an abortion should be illegal guy. You know, I feel like there's so many. When they're bringing back the U.S. draft, saying, you know, there's a possibility that all these young men may have to go fight in a war because the country's at risk. Everyone's like, yeah, well, that's okay. And I say, well, the country's at risk because we're not having babies and there's a declining population and, you know, the institutions are failing, the birth rates are at a record low. So maybe, just maybe, we should ask women to actually carry their kids to full term. It's like, oh, there we go. That's when I get in trouble.
Yeah,
and I'm
but
like, well, I'm
interesting
not.
that's the
It's
thing that
interesting.
offends people.
But I'm with you. I'm with you because I saw I sent this to Rob during one of our podcasts. It was somebody was like, the birth rate isn't declining. We're at record high abortions in a year. People are just killing babies, and it's just like a regular business. It's like 2000, like the birth rate drop. It's like, bro, if you're only having 300,000, 500,000, and then the abortion is 1.4 million, bro.
Since the year 2000 till now, do you know how many aborted babies have been aborted in the United States?
From 2020 till now.
From 2020.
now.
No, from 2000 till now.
2000 till 26 years.
Yeah. The answer on official records is 21 million.
That's
21 million extra people. That's 8-9% of the population.
And that's
increase.
official records. That's not
That's
showing people.
bingo.
A lot of the stuff is.
Yeah, people who go to Mexico, people who don't record it, people who are doing this backstreet stuff. So I'm just like, man, we've lost an entire generation.
I'll tell you,
I'm so
so
upset.
You're right, and it pisses me off too.
I used to have conversations with people early on, and like when I was trying to figure out abortion, what it meant to me, whatever, all this stuff. And if I talked to people 20 years ago, the normal sentiment was, oh my God, late-term abortion is automatically wrong. There should be term limits. Everyone agreed that at some point the fetus is a child. Nowadays, I talk to people and they're like, I don't care. It's up to the woman. They can do it at 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, right before it comes out, as it's coming out. There's been like a real moral decay in the value of life in general. I always say, if you can do that, then you can decay the value of anything. So like relationships have decayed. Our idea of gender has decayed. Again, we always talk about it, but faith is the answer to literally all of this.
100%. And Margaret Sanger, the girl that the woman that started the thing, how many freaking, like, she's a demon, bro. Like,
She literally said it's a eugenics program. Yeah. She said she's putting a Planned Parenthood in the corner of every black neighborhood.
I remember that.
And there is a Planned Parenthood at the corner of every black neighborhood. And you know what they don't give you? They don't give you care for the child if you want to have it, but they do tell you could definitely come here and get rid of it.
They don't tell you how to plan to be a parent, which is an ironic name, you know. So.
And I love like the word they love putting, like, softening the language. Planned Parenthood. Oh, really? You're coming here with the husband or the boyfriend?
Planning to be a parent?
Yeah. You guys planning to be a parent? No, call it what it is. You're just execution by, like, just get him over with. And it's like, and I think they need to learn before. It's the teaching these people, like, about the life, and don't just be out there and be promiscuous. You should be figuring out, like you said, have the babies young, but know who you want to be with, and stay with that person.
And I think if you're in a position where you know if you get a girl pregnant, then you have to stand by her and you have to, like, stick with her and you have to build a family with her. It's going to make people more naturally selective. You know, it's naturally going to stop this culture of just, you know, sleeping around. But I mean, it's a very complicated question, and I don't know. I don't have answers to how to fix this. I sometimes feel like one of those doctors with endless diagnoses but no cures.
But you did answer it. Your answer is do what's hard.
Yeah, but
you just said it.
But I'll be honest, when I say, oh yeah, no, you should legalize abortion and you should do this and do that, never gonna happen.
Of course.
Never. Tell young men to just not masturbate ever, like to give up on porn. Never going to happen.
What do you mean? Come on.
Never going to happen. So
That's a hard, like, I'm telling you right now, besides, because I was speaking with Maverick today. Mav, you remember this. We're sitting there and I'm telling him, I go, bro, it's such a, because I'm Jesus Christ is Jesus Christ. He's perfect. You're never gonna come close to even the bottom of the sand on his foot. But it's like, bro, I'm trying to be as good as I can. You know, trying to be a good person. Try not to lie. Try to get these impure thoughts. And bro, like looking at, like, lusting over women and, like, porn, bro. And the accessibility to porn is ridiculously on X. We were on the pod. Did I ever tell you this? We're on the podcast and I'm trying to look up a name of just a girl, but I just remembered her name was, like, Samantha. I went to the search of X. I put Samantha, and thank God there was no camera behind. It was just butt naked girls and porn, and I'm like, just Samantha, and that's what it is, brother. But it's so hard. You have to fight it. You have to fight as much as you can to stay away from that.
Well, I think to Elon's credit, I think that's changed on Grok. I think it's gotten stricter and tighter. Now you have to go and look for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have. But that's I have. I'm sorry, I'm not a perfect man. But I agree with you. It used to happen to me all the time too, and I'd be like, you couldn't even. There were points where I felt uncomfortable opening my phone around other people because it was so prevalent. Now on X, I think Elon's, to his credit,
He's done a good job.
He's done a good.
Yeah.
But then you go to Instagram and it's just literally girls in bikinis is every account.
I will not open my Instagram around to anyone. Like, if I'm at the office or whatever, I'm like, nope, it's staying shut. My phone's. But remember when you were young, you had to like sneak into the basement of your house to watch like
VHS.
Well, the blue screen with the static, and you're hoping for like a nipple on the screen for like 1 second, and then you get it's like two guys. You were scared. You're like, no,
what are you watching?
No, I used to watch wrestling pay-per-views that way, and they'd make the same noise, and my dad would be like, "What are you watching?" And it's just
It's the Ultimate Warrior.
But you know, when pornography was determined to be free speech, under what was his name? The guy in the wheelchair.
Hustler, Larry Flint.
Larry Flint. When that case went on, I don't think, it's like, I don't think people understood the technology that was coming in the future. I don't think that people understood when they said, you know what, how about this? You can go to these adult cinemas. Oh, VHS is out now. Okay, you could buy your videotapes with your wife and go home and put them in your VHS player, and then you can put them away in the back of the cupboard where your kids aren't going to find them. I think that what was available back then was very different, and nobody had the forethought or the imagination that 100% of people over the age of 10 are going to be walking around 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with a device in their hand to access all the porn ever created by humanity.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone saw that coming. So I feel like, the free speech argument stands, but there has to be something in place to protect kids. There has to be this are you over 18 shit.
Well, now there's countries that are just straight up banning it for children under the age of 16. No social media whatsoever.
Well,
and
that's
every
the only
couple
way.
of weeks, there's a new country that comes on board.
But you have to be very careful with these countries because Australia.
Well, that's the countries that are doing it.
Australia
Yep.
is a country which I don't like very much. I mean, I'll probably never go to Australia in my life. I imagine I'm banned. I think when I'm not going to say his name, but when a friend of mine was banned from entry to Australia, his literal paperwork said, and because he's friends with
Are you serious?
So I'm not going to Australia. But they'll be like, oh yeah, social media is banned for under 16s. And I was like, well, this actually sounds quite smart. Oh, except Blue Sky. What Blue Sky? The weird liberal version of Twitter that promotes transgenderism and shit. I'm like, what? That's the opposite of what you should be doing.
That's the exact danger of government controlling speech.
Bingo. That is the exact danger. So I don't know what the answer to this is, but there has to be some way to protect kids from this problem.
You solve problems not through law, but through culture.
Yeah.
So I do think the answer is shifting culture.
Correct.
We need people who influence young men, like you guys have a massive platform, to just keep saying this and make it trendy so men actually want to live to a higher standard.
Oh yeah, because they just let me speak freely.
Well, I mean, whoever but you still do have influence.
It's great. I'm out there saying like message. What could go wrong? Everything's fine,
But for so in that world of the girls and the dating and the porn and all that stuff, I mean, bro, the technology of these. Have you seen the robot technology that these girls that are at these shows, especially like in Japan and stuff, they're like sex dolls, bro? It's getting to the point where it looks like a real person. And dude, think about that's the future. Is those guys that aren't getting any? They're gonna have a robot at the house and they're gonna be hooking up with this
But
thing.
here's the interesting part of sex robots and why I think they might save the world.
Take notes.
Hear me out.
I already have an order in.
Rob's like, really? If that's the case, his robot comes right
I think sex robots might, and this is purely hypothetical.
Go ahead.
Might save the world. And so the thought I thought, look, I think that, and there's lots of good women out there in the world, and I'm not shitting on women. There's lots of good women, lots of good men, thousands of trashy women, thousands of trashy men. Who do you think the OnlyFans customers are? Who do you think's buying all this crap?
Of course.
So I see sex robots. If you can one-time purchase a sex robot girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the men who are undesirable to women are going to stop wasting their energy on the women that they can't get. A lot of the women doing the stuff that we disagree with aren't actually empowered by the tall, handsome millionaire who wants to, drive around and take her to a restaurant. They're empowered by the millions of simps who float up her platform and donate all their money, make her think that she's a businesswoman and do all this. The attention blows their minds. And I feel if things were reversed, it would be the same for men. But women and men don't think the same. Men don't get that kind of attention. So I feel like if every single man who was like undesirable to these hot chicks had his sex robot at home, these women would have to just like maybe stop hoeing out a bit and try and marry one of us. Like, I think
That's actually a fair point.
So I think sex robots might just save the fucking world.
Yeah, it'll change the power structure.
Yeah, because these women feel they have endless options because they've got millions of guys in their inbox who would sleep with them, but they'd only sleep with 3 or 4 of those dudes. But the illusion of all these endless options, puts them in this position where maybe they don't act the right way.
That makes sense.
When there's a very few men who actually want to do the work, to have the lifestyle, to have the morals, to have the nice cars, to have the things that are attractive enough to women, and every other man is just like, nah, fuck it, I'm roboted out. I'm done with this game.
Bought out.
Then maybe these girls will just, have to start treating men right and offering to have our babies and they're being nice. Like, let's.
I don't need you anymore.
Bring on the sex robots, bro. I'm saying,
I'm starting a charity to provide every guy who's ranked 6 or less by women to get a sex robot.
If you get less than 3 matches a day on Tinder, I'm gonna buy you a sex robot. How about that? Everyone out there,
bro. Philanthropist. Yeah, I just thought about that too because there should be a study once they go mainstream and the sex robots are everywhere, Rob, and everybody's buying them. I would love to see like a 10-year study where it's like, bro, OnlyFans are the percentages down. Guys aren't going to strip clubs. Guys aren't going girls. You gotta go out there and don't get me wrong, bro. I know as a Christian, people always judge and they always get mad at when I say stuff like this, but those strip clubs and stuff, as bad as they are, if those guys, some of those crazy alpha horny guys, if they're not going in there and getting that, they're gonna be out on the street trying it on other women and being so it's like a catch-22 in that situation. So, I mean, Rob, I'm going to buy you a robot.
He actually owes me one. He's arrested 3 swipes on Twitter. That's a verbal agreement.
Yeah, that's a verbal agreement. When they're released, I will purchase
You guys heard it here, bro. You guys heard that? You heard that?
So I bought a MetaQuest. Okay. MetaQuest 3 or whatever it is, and I thought I would use it for gaming.
Is that the eye goggle thing?
By the way, I would be horrible because, by the way, I have a Roomba where it cleans like a little vacuum. But you see here, I talk to that thing. I'm like, you stupid idiot! I would be yelling at my robot all the time. Like, I told you to clean the kitchen. All right. So Tristan, I want to move on to imagine that, bro. Oh yeah, that's a crazy thought. Can you get arrested for beating the shit out of your robot? You're like, hey!
That's like a black guy for some reason. Every time people come over, your robot's just busted.
But then surely if a guy gets arrested on a domestic assault charge, these people are going to go to reoffend. If they get arrested on a domestic assault charge, just ban them from real women. Robots only from now on.
That's a great idea.
You want to get mad? Break your hand, man. This is made of metal. Let's go.
Well, dude, that's so fun. Can you imagine that? You beat your robot. If your vacuum was like, I don't trust it. It just leaves. Your vacuum back to backpack. Your vacuum just leaves.
Going out the house.
That's funny. Okay, so I want to shift. Oh my God, that was so freaking funny. So I want to hear. This is hot cakes and hot takes. I want your hot take.
Let's go.
Tristan, not that long because I have a couple more questions before we wrap up, and I want to do a couple games with you.
Sure, I got time.
But with what's happening right now, Trump's second term. We're in a war with Iran that we don't see is going to be happening, finishing anytime soon. It looks like they're going to lose, Republicans are going to lose the midterms. Gavin Newsom and all these people look like the shift is obviously happening.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tristan, where are we heading? Are the Tuckers and Candaces and all these people doing more harm than good? And where do you see this next three years going to where Trump is finishing his term?
It's a very complicated situation, and it's something that I spend a lot of time, laying awake thinking about. It's very tricky, and it's not necessarily a Donald Trump issue. There is a situation where America itself, the political machinery of America, is so much bigger than one man or one president that I can't think of a single president in my lifetime who managed to keep all his promises and get every issue that he ran on in, etc. I am a Republican, and people say it might not be Vance, people say it might be Rubio. I personally hope it's Vance. I will be voting for him. That's my own personal, I guess that's my own personal conviction. But, I think with politics, everyone has their selfish reasons for wanting various things to happen. And that's why you can't keep everybody happy. I understand there are people who want war with Iran. I didn't want war with Iran. I understand that there are people who don't like J.D. Vance for whatever reasons they like him. JD Vance to me is the only American politician with any power who talks about all the shit affecting me. Them trying to lock you up in Europe for free speech violations. The fact that England arrests 12,000 people, a year for tweets, and England have put out a mystery arrest warrant on me. I don't even know what it's for. They're going to railroad me for my Twitter. The fact that I see our VP standing up there saying this is bullshit, this is bullshit. That election in Europe was rigged. This is fake. All in the place where I grew up, Europe, like that makes me happy. Even though he's not running for president of Europe, so I'm going to stick by my guns personally. But, I can dissect every issue. And, I mean, you can ask me if I'm happy about this and happy about that. I'm not unhappy enough to be voting for Gavin Newsom. That's
do you think that do you not, so I guess the question to elaborate on that one would be, do you not see the danger of the right fracturing and everyone losing out on what's best for the country because of where we're going right now?
Well, I said this, I think, on day one. I mean, it's happened everywhere. Everywhere the right seems to get a foothold, the fracturing begins almost immediately. Mm-hmm. And people like me can see something I'm unhappy with and kind of like bite my tongue and just think, well, fuck, it's better than Kamala Harris. Do you know what I mean?
That's how I see it.
So I mean, the exact same thing happened in the UK. This guy, Nigel Farage, comes along. Mm-hmm. He gets a few MPs in the door. First political party in ages to beat like establishment parties. And within a few weeks, his guy, who's in there with him, and him start arguing, and they fractured. Now there's two right-wing parties. I'm like, well, you're not going to win then. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It happens in America. It happens there. I don't know if you want to be conspiratorial about it. Maybe it's insidious. Maybe it was done on purpose. Maybe there's people trying to fracture the right. But for the absolute maximum effort I have in my soul, will try to not do or say anything that fractures the voter base. I try to.
The left is very good at maintaining a unified.
Oh no, no matter how crazy and evil that I mean, listen. And me and Jake have these conversations all the time. They're all evil, meaning politicians, and we're seeing it. Like, what was that vote? I want you to say what you're going to say. 357 to like 45 or something to hide all the money that goes to sexual assaults and payouts. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What? So they're all corrupt. They're all the same. But the left is blatantly out in the open. I mean, Republicans are just as crazy, but the Democrats don't even hide they're crazy. What were you going to ask?
You said that sometimes the machine is bigger than any one person. And in this case, it's the biggest person that the machine has ever gone up against, in my opinion. At least in my lifetime, I can't think of a president who's gone against a machine.
But one man's only a man. And it works the same way in Europe, trust me. These European politicians get in charge of their country, and they think that they're in charge. And the European Union is this massive bureaucratic machine behind them, and their country ends up, with the exact policies the guys ran against, flooded with third world migrants that come across the Mediterranean. Everyone's like, well, why don't these politicians, actually stop what they're, what the machine's trying to do? And the question is, do these people have the power to?
Yeah.
Because you don't know unless you're there. I'm not the prime minister of any European country. I wish I was for a day, because I think I come out of it after 24 hours and think, you know what, I have absolutely no power to do anything. And the American president has a lot more power to do a lot more, I think. I think there are things that, anyone in any administration simply won't be able to stop, because, the weight of the tides, washing up on them are just too heavy, and they've been in motion for too many years, decades before these people even thought of running.
Sorry. It's why you should never revere any single politician as almost holy. Because your expectations are just too extreme. That's what happened with Trump. They're like, he's going to everything, like it was physically impossible for him to do every single thing he said.
Well, here's my thing though. I mean, if you followed him from 2016 and you saw what he did and what they tried to do, and you said, it was perfectly you said, Rob, this guy came in and ruined the whole system. Flipped it all upside down. We got to see what because I never followed. I didn't give a damn. My father used to watch Reagan, and we used to watch Western. Okay, he was an actor. Nobody cared. And then I heard something when I was younger about Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. I was still kind of young.
I remember that.
But then I was in the military during 9/11, weapons of mass destruction. And then I was like, whoa, wait a minute. They lied. There's no, and it turned me bitter against what the government was. And then Trump came in, and I got to see what the brainwashing of one side. But I lost friends. I was punched in the freaking head. It was such a visceral reaction to, wait a minute, this guy's not one of us. Party. He's going to come here and flip it around. I'm not going to deny his, what he did, the trajectory, the changes, the policies, the border, them trying to destroy him, shoot him, all that stuff. But it seems like this last year, and we're turning to to something that we haven't seen, and I get it. For instance, when the director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, everybody's like, Iran doesn't have nukes. Guys, they're not 2 weeks. There's no way. And then all of a sudden, we bombed them. Operation, what was the hammer?
Yeah, you're talking about
Midnight Hammer. I thought we blew up everything. And then they're like, oh, no.
We're told that.
The people are uprising now. Okay, and I'm not going to lie to you, Tristan. I'm on board. I'm like, if the people are there and they're getting killed in the streets, let's go. If Christians in Nigeria are getting killed, let's go. And then all of a sudden they're like, no, wait a minute. We're not even the people. You forgot about the people. And it's about the oil and it's about expanding. I'm like, I'm not a fan of it. Like, that's why I was going to ask you, how long do you think, if you had to guess, if you had to bet, somebody gave you $1 million, Tristan, how long do you think this war in Iran goes? More than a year? More than 2 years? More than 4 years?
Less than a year.
You think so?
I would vote less than a year. I think that I know people from all over the world, and there are influences on this. This is not an issue of America and Iran and Israel. The moment you start hitting infrastructure and closing infrastructure in the Middle East, that affects the UAE, a country I live in, that affects Saudi Arabia, that affects Oman. All of these countries being financially affected suddenly affect Russia, suddenly affect China. There are going to be voices in the ear of everybody. Trump, the Iranian regime, Netanyahu himself, from the world's most powerful nations, India, China, Russia. Everybody is interested in this stopping, for once. Usually they don't care. Nobody cares. I mean, no one's really in Putin's ear about Ukraine, because in the heart of hearts of it, it hasn't really affected anybody's money, their ability to make it. I mean, sure, they can launder some and make some more by sending it over to Ukraine themselves, but the whole world is putting pressure. The weight of the world is on these three parties' shoulders right now to come to a conclusion. And before anyone gets really pissed off, I think it's going to wind down.
Do you think that behind closed doors, all these world leaders do kind of have a conversation saying, like, even if they're enemies with each other, like, yo, you need to chill out here. This is escalating beyond what we anticipated.
I don't really know anymore. I've stopped trying to guess how politics functioned, and I've also made the decision to myself that I have a role to play, and my role to play is not trying to be a politician myself. What I'd like to do. If Andrew and I ramp up the podcasting again, right now we're taking a bit of a break from that. We're just trying to enjoy ourselves a little bit. If I ramp up the podcasting, what I'd like to do is I'd like to acknowledge the fact that young men are mad when they are lied to, right? We agree.
100%.
If you lie to a bunch of young men, then they're going to get mad if you don't keep your promises. So what I'd actually like to do, shoot me if you like, before the next election, is if mine and Andrew's podcast is big enough, I'd like to have JD Vance on my podcast, and then I'd like to have Gavin Newsom on my podcast. And I'd like them both to tell young men all over the world, because the President of the United States affects everybody, what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. So at least there's some anchors to hold them to it. I mean, that's my role. I don't know anymore. Are they in a big group chat? Is it a big circle jerk? I don't know. And I don't care to know. Like, I care to just shine my spotlight on things when I can, and that's all I want to do.
Can I give you my I don't know if you think like this as well, your opinion, but I think, personally, JD Vance's move is not to run in 2028, and I'll tell you why. Because I personally don't think that this thing is going to stop. That's my opinion. Like you said, I'm not in those rooms, but if it's for the uprising and regime change, Tristan, that's not a freaking overnight, hey, you guys were listening to these guys, you guys are out.
Yeah.
Our guys come in, everybody, because think about it, the military's going to have to fall in line. The IRGC, you got to kill all of those guys. Those guys are not going to be like, okay, well, Trump and Israel put this guy in, we're going to follow him. The regime change is a whole different ball of wax, but I think a good move, if I was JD, I would just sit this one out, because now they're trying to get JD involved. You notice that, right, Tristan? He's there, he's getting his hands dirty, because he's a non-interventionalist. He's the one that said, Trump said that when they're in the rooms about the Iran war, he's less enthusiastic, meaning JD is, like you said, JD's like, we don't even need to do this. Charlie Kirk, God rest his soul, he was one of the biggest voices saying, no, do not get into this quagmire. Don't do it. Like, I'm talking about, bro, I just last night, you want another coffee?
No, I'm good. Continue.
I saw Tristan last night just on my feed, because once in a while you watch one video and you open it, boom, 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 boom. It was podcast after podcast of Charlie in front of audiences going, this is the worst thing that we could do. Do not do it. Do not. No war with Iran. No war with Iran. Go
I just want to ask you, look, so nobody likes war, but let's say in the end of the day, Iran will, and we know they developed intermediate range ballistic missiles. Let's say and from intermediate range ballistic missiles to long range ballistic missiles, intercontinental is not a big jump.
Yeah.
Now forget the nuclear weapons, just Iran with a load of intercontinental ballistic missiles, becomes a major threat to the United States, we have no national missile defense system. Do you not? Like, to me, there's still like the threat of do we wait till they become so powerful that they're a direct threat to the country?
And I want to hear what you have to say. When somebody tells us that we have that intelligence that happened, do you really trust, ready for this, when people want war and they tell you, hey, these guys over here can reach us.
Heard it before.
No, but
I've heard that
they
before.
fired the intermediate
but
ballistic.
they did this time because they hit Diego Garcia, and it was double the distance of what Iran said that they could reach. So it's not America yet, but I get your
That's
point.
my concern. My
And then
concern isn't the nukes. It's a even just uranium.
And then their reaction to this was the worst possible reaction because they're like, well, we'll strike Qatar, and we'll strike Dubai, and we'll strike everyone in the Middle East. And
I just
everybody
think
goes,
there's no
that's
good
what we said
solution.
you were going to do. The question, go ahead, sorry.
No, please go.
That's the only reason why, as a guy who has never been for war, nobody is. So it's easy to say that. But even this one, I'm with you. I was like, I have my reservations. And then I saw the way Iran responded, and I went, okay, so they lied about the range that they already had. We were told that we got rid of everything underground, but we did not.
But you used one word that was very key there: responded. The way that they responded.
That's true.
The word that I don't like, and this was Libya. Hillary Clinton on Libya.
Oh, I'm off. I'm
She used the
agreement
word.
with you
She
here.
used the word preemptive. Now, preemptive is a word that Hillary Clinton used that I did not like. She goes, yeah, no, these preemptive strikes on Libya because Gaddafi was just about to do this.
Yeah.
If I preemptively walk up to you and punch you in the face, and I tell you to he was going to punch me, trust me. My intelligence said preemptive is just violent assault out of nowhere. That's the way I see it. So words like respond, words like preemptive, you have to be very careful about digesting these things on the news. Thinking, okay, we preemptively got Libya. Preemptively. Libya was never, ever, ever, in my opinion, ever going to attack the United States in a million years. Guy just wanted to make his own currency.
Yeah, Gaddafi was trying to unite the
So
Africano
I'm
to
like,
make it strong.
preemptive? What was he about to do? He wasn't even like chanting death to America. He was just some guy.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful about the language used here, you know?
Yep.
I looked at how they responded. It's like me saying, him saying, I'm not a violent guy. He's definitely not a violent guy, right? And then I attack him and he pulls out a gun and shoots me. You're like, oh, the way he responded shows he's a violent guy. Well, not really. It shows that, he was defending himself when I came to punch him.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
It's complex. I agree with you about Libya 100%. I think Iran has demonstrated itself to be a completely different entity. I mean, they were massacring tens of thousands of their own people. There were bullet holes in people's heads in hospitals.
Oh, yeah.
They've demonstrated that they're a little bit. But either way, I understand both sides of this argument, and I think that it's just like it's an impossible situation, and we don't know what Trump knows in the end of the day.
To the length, I agree with his point. I don't think it's going to last long because this isn't Iraq. You have the Strait of Hormuz, and that is a choke point for 20% of the world's oil, and you're already seeing the economic effects in every country right now. So
everybody's interested.
Yep.
I just don't want, and again, I just don't want, because people don't realize the war that we're fighting there, guess what? When they can't win there, you know what they do? They bring the battle to you. This is the United States. For 4 years, Alejandro Mayorkas left the border wide open on purpose and looked in the camera and said, the border's secure. The borders are Kamala Harris. I've been to the border. No, you've never been to the border. Yes, well, I was going to go there. They did it on purpose to me, but all purposeful. And I'm telling you right now, we haven't tasted what this war is yet, because they know that they're screwed. There's no IRGC, we're killing everybody. It's going to come here, and that's going to be a huge shift, because then once something happens here, Tris, then they're going to be like, oh, we told you guys, and then they're going to start bombing places. Bro, we're that close to just wiping them out completely. The president, I know it's veiled threats and he's trying to scare the hell out of them and all that stuff, but bro, one thing bad happens, one base gets bombed over there or something here, something major, then they're just going to get the public opinion, just like with 9/11. They made everybody go, oh, yep, it's terrorists, and we went to a place that didn't have anything to even do with it.
Let me say my piece on this before we end, because when this first started, I said, look, I'm praying for everyone innocent. I don't care if you're in Dubai, Iran, Israel, United States. I said that, and I got flack from all the different teams who hate all the various different teams. I said, that's all I can do. But I will say, the days when they could convince us that everybody in a country is our enemy, I think are over. I think globalization, I think the internet can show us that is not true. I think in the 1970s and 80s and 90s, they convinced Americans that all Russians were our enemy. I've got loads of great Russian friends. They're wonderful people. And let me tell you something. I can't think of a single Persian person I know, and I've met hundreds in my life, in Dubai, in the United States, in the United Kingdom, all over Europe. I can't think of a single one I've ever disliked. So you could say these people are being oppressed by an evil regime and they're all brainwashed and whatever. So you're telling me that if these people were just like here in this cafe, I'd be cool with them? No, I don't want to eliminate anyone. I don't want to wipe anyone out. And you know, to be frank, the Persian civilization is older with more history and more complexity, and maybe in some ways more beauty than, you know, the United States, which is a relatively new country. And we shouldn't be looking to wipe anyone off the face of the planet.
That's just an insane statement when he said, I'm going to wipe out an
when he
entire
said, I'll kill the whole civilization. And I get it. But and I get the tactic.
Yes.
But bro, words matter. People read that. And I know you're trying to scare the crap out of the leadership, but if you're an Iranian, bro, and you know how Trump is, and you know his allies, and you know what's going on, that's a holy moly moment. Like, wait a minute, what the hell is he talking about? Like, a kid has to go to school thinking, like, bro, they might bomb the hell out of us if something happens.
But I think it was Churchill who made a quote about how, like, the world will respect an insane man, because there is an element of Trump that I think he'll just say the most, like you said, insane thing possible, and then we'll see the complete opposite effect a day later, which is exactly what we saw. I'm going to wipe out the whole civilization.
Didn't do it.
Ceasefire. Not only didn't do it, ceasefire.
Well, Trump's very smart, and when I was talking about that, I wasn't actually referencing Trump's tweet. I was referencing the attitude to a lot of Americans, who don't know where Iran is on a map. Who think we should just nuke them. You know, because a lot of the hillbilly types do believe that.
Of course.
And I was talking about them, but Trump is actually, in my opinion, a very smart politician. We're going to take Greenland, fuck it, you know? Greenland's going to be ours. And he gets the minerals deal he wants because the Greenland's like, oh, don't actually take us, here's the minerals. So Trump often says things that are very exaggerated, knowing that he's going to fall far short of that, but that's the result he actually wants. So I wasn't actually referencing Trump's tweet. I was referencing, I know Americans who are just like, yeah, well, them Iranians, they're crazy. They want to kill us all. And they're like, I'm like, I know loads of Iranian people, and they're all wonderful people. Shut the fuck up! You don't know. Where's Iran on a map? Here, point.
Yeah, they won't know. They won't know.
They don't know. So like,
what's a map? Minor attractive person. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
All right, so I want to ask one more question. Well, I want to ask one more question, and I have two things that I want to do with you.
Sure.
That just sounded really bad, but I also think because we talked about faith. You brought it up.
Yeah.
I think a big problem over there too is there is no Christ. Me and Humberto have had this conversation. Like, submitting to Christ, I think, is a big thing over there that'll make everybody. Don't get me wrong. Christians have killed people in the past and all that stuff, and Old Testament. I get all that, but what I'm saying is, with Christianity, I know that you're a Christian Orthodox, correct?
Indeed, I am.
So am I. And Andrew went from atheist to Christian. He's a practicing.
I don't think he went from atheist to Christian. I think Andrew went from atheist to deist to Muslim. He went from not believing God to believing there's a God.
Got you.
Okay. I don't think Andrew was ever.
Okay, so so being a Christian Orthodox, I'm pretty sure because you read the Bible.
Yeah.
You've read the Bible. I've done it twice. I'm also doing the Bible in a year again. You can read the Bible 1,000 times, but you're going to keep finding different stories.
Yeah.
So in John 14, chapter 14, verse 6, Jesus Christ says, "I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." So you, Tristan, knowing how much you love your brother, you guys are inseparable. I admire, me and my brother are very, very close. You guys are at a whole different level of closeness. You obviously want the best for him. Do you ever feel pressed to bring him back to Christ? Because we know how if God forbid everything ends, Tristan, we know God is a very loving God, but he's a very jealous God. And I want...
Let's reverse the question.
Yes.
If Andrew was sitting with an imam and two other Muslims.
Yes.
And they said, Andrew, you dearly love your brother. You know, as you know, Islam is the only way.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk to your brother about becoming a Muslim? If you were to watch that conversation happening, you'd think, well, they're wrong and Andrew should just leave Tristan alone, yeah? Well, I understand that they think I'm wrong, and Andrew's a 40-year-old man. I'm a 40-year-old man. We're both family men. We both have our own lives. Yes, we live together, and yes, we are a team. But if you take something as big as religion and you have me trying to convert, because you're worried about me trying to talk to him. Okay, well, let's make it an equal playing field. I'm going to start trying to talk to him about Christ, and he's going to start talking to me about the Quran. Then mine and Andrew's business empire completely falls apart because we're at each other's throats being like, no, I'm right, you're right, I'm right, you're right. And we have the 20th crusade in my house. So it's not actually a one-sided thing of I can have a quiet word with Andrew and bring him around, because I'm sure Andrew sits with a bunch of Muslim friends who says, you should bring your brother to the mosque. And Andrew says, no, I will not do that. Tristan will do what he wants, and that's his own personal business. Therefore, I have the integrity to hold by that answer when I sit around my Christian friends.
Got you. But so my question is though, with the factual, because bro, I've read The Case for Christ. All these theologians, they're breaking it down. Christ was definitely here. I believe he was truly who he was. The stuff that was said in the Old Testament, from Isaiah to being pierced for our transgressions, you name it. I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, the outcome of. I'm not saying pick a side or do that, but the Muslim faith.
I hear what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying, though.
You're sitting here saying
salvation.
We're definitely right, and you could save him.
Well, not we. Christ yes. is 100% factual.
I mean, we're the same religion.
Yeah.
So we're saying we're definitely right, and you could save him. I get that, and I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
However, on the other table, somewhere else, it's we're definitely right, and you could save him. We're not going to start that amongst each other.
Mm-hmm.
He is a full-grown man, and he can make his own decisions. And I'm not here to please him, and he doesn't do it to me out of respect, so I'm not going to do it to him out of respect.
Have you guys ever talked about theology with each other?
All the time.
So then what I see
we have our conversations.
Yeah,
of course, but we don't ever publicly disclose it. I will never sit here and say, well, he said this and I said this.
Yeah.
Or we'll never go on a live stream.
Of course.
And debate who's right and wrong. We have too much respect for each other. And it's not only that, right? You could say my brother, fine. Forget my brother for a second. Let's look at my entire group of friends. The entire group of people I associate with. Probably you as well. Do you talk to your Jewish friends and tell them they need to follow Christ, or your Muslim
Vinnie
friends?
Does,
I do. Tristan. Yeah, Adam. I swear to you, it's a funny question.
Yeah.
Adam, yes, because an Adam is really open and listening. I know that'd be very, very hard. But like Muslims, I actually made one guy on Connect, the app that we have that Pat created. I went back and forth with this guy. If I'm not even joking, Tristan, 75 back and forth, and I was giving factual, and I get it, everybody thinks that their religion, whoever you are, Buddhist, whatever, Christ died, said he was coming back, came back, nobody else did that, and this one guy, I'm not even joking, he sent me photos because he had to send it in a Google Drive. He got baptized and became a Christian, and I feel like God gave it to me, which by the way, I'm not that bright when it comes to theology. No, I'm really, I'm trying and I'm getting there, but I told him, I go, listen, Jesus is coming back like a thief in the night, and I'm trying to explain to people as much as I can that, bro, he's a very loving God, but he's a very, very jealous God, and you will not worship any other God.
Well, maybe then let me share why I feel slightly different to you in terms of pontificating to people. I know Adam very well. I was with Adam last time I was in Miami. He was sitting in my house 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
I didn't once try to tell him, hey, bro, don't be Jewish, be Christian. You should follow Christ. I didn't once do that, and I never did because I don't feel at all that I have an authority to be the shepherd to Adam or Andrew or anyone. I feel like it is my authority to be the shepherd in this world to my children, their mothers. That's who I guide, and that's who I teach. If my fans want to listen to me about my various opinions on things, that's fine too. But I am not a religious leader, and I'm not going to start conflicts. If Adam was my business partner, the amount of work we can get done together would be amazing. Because Adam's a smart guy, and I'm a smart guy. And I feel like for every conversation we have where I tell him to start being a Christian and he tells me to start being a Jew, then we're just going to diminish the returns of what we're trying to accomplish together. So he has his religious beliefs, I have mine, and we work as a team in the same direction while we're here on Earth.
Something that I hear on is that, and this is important too, sometimes the way you lead someone to Christ isn't through a direct conversation where they're going to be resistive or they're not going to want to hear what you're saying. You can pray. There's other things you can do. You can pray for people. You can invite them to church one day and just see if they like it. And if they don't want to come, like the people I've seen have the biggest influence are the people who led people to Christ in a very passive, tolerant way that they knew wouldn't create conflict, because you don't want to create conflict.
Oh, I agree.
On your
I agree. Mind you, I never like, hey, you're gonna. I'm saying like me more. It's me talking on podcasts and me just talking about my faith, and then people hit me up and go, hey, can you tell me a little bit more? Like I have a faith over fear line that I do, Tristan, where people are like, I was at another diner and a lady was like, hey, what's Hebrews 11? Are you Jewish? I go, no, but Hebrews, talks about, faith and seeing, what you don't see, but knowing that it's there. And then we had like a half an hour conversation. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to look into it. And then I was like, oh yeah, I go to this church, Calvary. Why don't you go? And then I see her at the church. So yeah, I'm not one of those. I don't pressure people.
Yeah.
When people come, I'm like, hey, this is what I do. This is how my life has changed. And these are facts that I know. and then you go figure it out on your own. And it's some of them do come,
Yeah.
Tristan. Some of them come to the light. So, 2 things, Tristan. Where are we at, Maverick? Where are we at time wise? All right. So Tristan, I'm gonna do one game, and then I'm gonna do one scene from a movie that I don't. They might tell you what the.
He asked me what my favorite movies.
Okay, and I've got them, but I thought something would be funnier. We'll see. I'll text you. All right. So,
Sure.
marry, sleep with, kill.
Okay.
Get that in there.
Got it.
I'm gonna give you 5 different examples. I'm gonna let Rob. I'm gonna let you do. Actually, Rob, do the lines with Tristan. Marry, sleep with, kill. Do the first row.
All right, first one. Marry, sleep with, or kill Sydney Sweeney, Margot Robbie, Prime, Salma Hayek.
Ooh, prime meaning from dusk till dawn.
That's-
Salma Hayek. So Sydney Sweeney, Margot Robbie, prime Salma Hayek, and you got it.
Well, you'd have to marry Salma Hayek logically, because she's aged quite well.
Smart.
And we don't know how far downhill the other 2 will fall in time.
Good point. Good.
So I know how the next 20 years are going to play out.
Brilliant.
Correct? So
Brilliant.
that's just a mathematical equation.
Okay. So you're marrying Salma Hayek,
Yeah.
prime.
Other 2 choices?
Margot Robbie, Sydney Sweeney.
I don't want to kill any of them.
Well, you
know?
ha- well-
and I know I have to.
You have to.
And I'm going to play the game, but I'm sitting here on a podcast talking about which women I'd kill. Don't really need the smoke, but I'd kill Sydney Sweeney
Okay.
and sleep with the other one.
Okay, Margot Robbie. Oh, I got you.
The cops are just outside waiting.
We finally got him.
You do realize I'm half British and we have like hate speech laws.
yeah,
This podcast, I'm gonna be listening back to it in court. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
Vinnie made me.
He had a gun on the table.
No, I'll play. I'm
yeah.
a participant here. Let's do it.
Oprah Winfrey,
Okay.
Rosie O'Donnell, Melissa McCarthy. She's the big girl.
Yes.
Okay.
So I would marry Oprah Winfrey because I got some money, but I ain't got Oprah Winfrey.
Got you.
Yeah. So let's
I got you.
At least
Marry
let's
her.
live the lavish
Yes.
lifestyle. You don't
Yes.
necessarily have to sleep with your wife that often. Let's
Yeah.
do it. So
Yeah.
I think Oprah Winfrey. Plus, she looks like. I mean, if we had to go down that route, she'd give me the strongest kids. Maybe some NFL.
Yeah.
dudes,
Oh, for sure.
So let's go. Oprah Winfrey, I'd marry. I would. The other 2 choice, I would have to sleep with Rosie O'Donnell to save her life because I like Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh, really?
No, I'm joking. Kill Rosie O'Donnell.
Okay.
What you thought
You're a good actor, bro.
You're like, wow, you like her.
What do you like about her?
No. So I would definitely have to sleep with that comedian woman.
Okay,
And
Melissa McCarthy.
because yeah.
Which would be fun.
Yeah, I
She's
mean,
funny.
it might be. It's just like,
She is funny.
look, tell me jokes in my ear or something. I'll close my eyes. And see
Yeah.
what I can do. So, treat it as like a stand up with a workout,
Oh, that's so funny. All right, ready? Rachel Maddow, Lizzo, Kathy Griffin.
So I don't know who the first one is. I'm not a
Rachel
big guy in
Keep going,
celebrity
keep
culture.
going. I'll
Rachel
show you.
Maddow's like the short-haired CNN or whatever, MSNBC.
Oh my God, I have her.
Okay.
Hold on.
She's a
Hold
lesbian.
on.
You have Rachel
What?
Maddow's photo saved in
Saved on
your
my
phone.
phone. Wait, let me show. Yeah, that's,
Normal people go to Google.
Oh, Jesus.
yeah. You know why?
Jesus.
You know why? You know why? Because I did this. You know why?
here, I'll show you a picture.
I
knew that you would ask
I had a funny bit that what TDS does to people. That's Rachel Maddow
Wow.
before TDS, and then I said, "This is her after Trump." She looks like Stephen Colbert.
All right, so now I've got my answer. You just helped me out here.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd marry her
Aha.
because if she can change, maybe she can change back.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I could fix her.
Okay.
The good church-going boy who goes womanizing too much and girls
Yes.
will be like, maybe I could fix him.
Yeah.
Bring him back to who he was.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd marry her.
So marry Rachel Maddow,
Yeah,
Lizzo,
absolutely.
Kathy Griffin.
Jesus Christ.
Please go Kathy Griffin.
I think that I could probably more comfortably, with my eyes closed, albeit, sleep with Kathy Griffin. I just think the smell, Lizzo. I mean, just the stench. I can't imagine it. I feel like, why torture myself?
Okay, Lizzo's dead.
Yeah.
Lizzo's
Sorry,
dead.
That would be it.
All right. J-Lo, Ice Spice, Sofia Vergara.
I don't know who the last one is.
Sofia.
I don't know. I don't know.
Modern
What-
Family. She's hot.
I don't have her. I know. I know.
She married the guy who plays Al Bundy in Modern Family.
Yes.
Yeah, because
That's
I know
the
she is. I know she is. I know
Oh,
she is.
okay, yeah.
I know she
I heard
is.
Al Bundy
So
on
I don't know celebrities. I don't watch TV. I'm a weirdo.
Okay.
So I think I would. What's the first two?
J-Lo, Ice Spice.
This is tricky. I'd marry J-Lo.
Okay.
Wow.
I guess.
Sofia Vergara.
Because I don't particularly find Mexicans attractive. but I don't care who that offends. That's not my type.
She's
but I
Puerto
feel
Rican though, right? I think.
Oh, Sofia Vergara.
J-Lo. Well, whatever.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Whatever. She's a Latina.
Latina.
Yeah.
Latinas, Mexicans.
Latinx,
You'll know what I mean. I'm European. I don't know.
They're all
I'm
Mexican.
European. Like Latina,
Yeah.
Mexican.
Dominican.
They're interchangeable words.
Whatever. They're
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like there might be a thing though where it might help business networking somehow. You know, yeah, I'm married to J-Lo, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not particularly sexually interested in her at all, but I can just kind of ignore her and just use it as, yeah, I'm married to J-Lo.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like if I said I'm married to Ice Spice, people would be like, you know, get an AIDS test.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm not like, and I've got nothing against her. I just
Yeah.
feel like she's a bit more ratchet.
Yes.
Like less wifey material.
Yeah.
I think she'd admit to that herself.
For
as well.
sure.
So I'm not trying to offend the girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
So J-Lo you're marrying.
Yeah.
Ice Spice you're killing. Sophia.
I think I would have to kill Ice Spice.
Got you.
Because I don't watch TV and I've never seen Modern Family. But I feel like that actress, the clips of her I've seen go viral, it's not about hot. I feel like, you know, her shows make people laugh and stuff. Maybe that's some positivity for the world. I don't particularly think the music of Ice Spice does anyone's daughters any favors.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
You're right.
You know, maybe I'm thinking about this in a weird way, but I like to overthink.
I love it. I love it. You're not just spitting it out.
Yeah, that's right.
This is well, you're marrying and sleeping and killing them. This is serious business.
It's serious business. You got to think about these things.
Okay, so last one. You know who Ana de Armas is?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, her, Megan Fox, Emilia Clarke, who was the Khaleesi from
Interesting.
Game of Thrones.
I didn't watch Game of Thrones. I don't know who Emilia Clarke
She's
is.
the dragon queen.
I'll show her.
White hair.
Yes.
I see clips of her. Okay. I would have to marry Ana de Armas
Beautiful.
because I sometimes pick up women because I live in Eastern Europe, they look a bit Russian, based on how much of a Bond girl they look like. Because I've got a 1963 Aston Martin DB5.
Oh, so you're the guy.
And I feel like, yeah. Just the selfie stick of her in that car with me. You know, that's worth the marriage.
Ana de Armas didn't need an explanation.
No, you're good.
Marry her, we're good.
So Ana de
No.
Armas, Megan Fox, Emilia Clarke.
Kill Megan Fox. I mean, surely, because I don't know the other chick, but she's my type, you know,
Yeah.
blonde, pretty,
White, she rides dragons.
and I feel like the whole, you know, Hollywood culture of like demonic worship and stuff. I don't know much about Megan Fox, but I've seen her say some questionable
blood.
things.
Yeah.
Drinking blood.
And I'm just like, if I slept with her, you know, my soul might get possessed by some weird demon or something. So let's stay away from her.
Okay, I agree.
It's not that I necessarily want her dead.
Of course.
It's just I've got to pick options, and the blonde girl looks innocent enough.
Yeah, she is. I actually like her a lot.
Fair.
All right, one quick question before I go to the scene that I want to do. Because you said you're not that big into celebrities, but if you had to pick from childhood to now, your number one celebrity crush, who would that girl be that could make Tristan Tate a one-woman guy?
It will be the first
Girl.
woman I ever found. I mean, now that can't happen, but if I had to
Of all time.
my celebrity crush at her prime, it would be the first woman I ever found sexually attractive. I remember I must have been 9, 10.
Yeah.
And I saw this woman on TV and I thought, that was the first time I ever felt sexual attraction in my life.
Yes.
So I guess it would have to be Sandra Bullock in Demolition Man.
Wow.
In her police uniform.
Wow.
That's who it
That's
would
a
be.
surprising answer.
I remember they hook up with the head
with the
thing.
helmet
her
and
and,
shit, yeah.
Hey, yo, Sylvester
Bro, I
Stallone.
just remember those tight pants and those like leather boots and shit. I was like, wow, that is a woman.
She was
So Sandra Bullock
freaking
in
gorgeous.
Demolition Man. That's who. If I could just have her now,
Wow.
as my girlfriend.
I respect you for that. I was at Starbucks in Hollywood and I'm getting my drink and somebody goes, "Excuse me," I heard a female voice and Sandra Bullock walked in. Bro, this is like early 2000s. And
Yeah.
I was like it was that moment where I'm like,
Yep.
she's good choice.
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock's my dad's crush.
Really?
And just yesterday I was talking about Demolition Man, the Taco Bell.
Oh, I love
talking
that. Who's your
about
number
this
one?
Rosie O'Donnell.
She's dead, bro. He killed her.
Sorry, I got to her first.
All right, and then Tristan, and I guess you guys could stay here. Remember the movie? I'm gonna do a scene from a movie. I know Mike said that you like. Don't tell me. Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
Das Boots.
Das Boot, the German.
Das Boot, the
submarine
German.
movie.
And what was the other one?
I can't remember what other movie I listed. but
I'll look it up. All right,
I
so
like weird movies.
do you remember Wedding Crashers?
I've never seen it.
You've never seen Wedding Crashers?
No, I just spoiled your whole bit.
No, this is no. You know what's hilarious? This
Sorry. It sounds like a romantic comedy. And if you're the one who's seen romantic comedies and not me, there's more questions to be asked about you than me. I'm not the weirdo here.
Is it a romantic comedy?
It sounds like
Technically, comedy that's romantic.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this then, Tristan? This actually might even make it funnier.
Go ahead.
So my character is a wedding crasher.
Okay.
Me and my friend Vince Vaughn, it's Owen Wilson. We crash weddings all the time, bro. But I fall in love with a girl that, I lied to her. I'm heartbroken and I'm coming to you. Your name is Chaz, Will Ferrell's character.
Okay.
And you are like an OG. You were the best guy, best wedding crasher, but you're kind of a loser and you live at home with your mom. I'm coming for advice and you're wearing like a robe. You have like
and I'm freestyling you advice.
You're
Or
not
am I
freestyling.
reading?
I'm coming to you for advice,
Okay.
but you're not really giving advice because you know me and you know my boy. But just remember, if you see anything with screaming and everything, you have to yell it. This
Mom's in the other room.
Your mom's in the other room. So when you get, you're Chaz, and then I'm John. So this is hilarious. This is Wedding Crashers, the Chaz scene, and he's never seen the movie.
Okay. Damn you, I almost nunchucked you. You don't even realize.
Ouch. So is this your place?
No. I live with my mom.
Oh.
Yeah, you hungry? Hey, Mom! Can we get some meatloaf?
Hey, Chaz, I think I'm all right. I had a bite to eat. I came before I came over. Thank you.
You sure?
Yeah.
So how's my protege?
Jeremy.
Yeah, J-Bone.
Yeah, J-Bone, believe it or not, he's getting married.
What? What an idiot! What a loser! Good. More for me and you.
Yeah, more for me and you.
Mom, the meatloaf! We want it now! The meatloaf!
Actually, legitimately nailed it.
Without ever seeing the movie?
I've never seen the movie. I don't know.
That's a wrap.
This is the guy, by the way. That's literally what he looks like.